So, on behalf of Mass CEC and the communities that may be considering running a Heat Smart or Solarize campaign in the future, I want to thank you for participating today in this interview. Our goal today is to capture your experience and the knowledge you gained from running your campaign so that it can be passed on to other communities in Massachusetts. And for our viewers today that may be less familiar with Solarize and Heat Smart, these programs seek to increase the adoption of small-scale solar electricity and clean heating and cooling technologies in participating communities through grassroots educational campaigns that are really driven mainly by local volunteers. And these community-led campaigns really help simplify the process of installing clean energy systems by pre-vetting an installer and offering transparent pricing for homeowners. So now I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Charlotte Fall, and I'm the Community Clean Energy Fellow at Mass CEC, helping to develop the Solarize and Heat Smart Toolkit. I'm joined today by Tim Walter, who was the solar coach for Solarize Plainfield in 2015. So let's get started. Could you quickly introduce yourself and briefly explain your role and responsibilities as a solar coach?
Yeah, I'm Tim Walter from Plainfield, and I was the solar coach in Solarize Plainfield, but we also partnered with two other neighboring towns, Ashfield and Buckland. And basically, Plainfield instigated that partnership. We called it the tail wagging the dog because we were smaller than either of the other two towns. And we went to our members of our energy committee went to the select boards in Ashfield and Buckland and got them to agree to a partnership. So we partnered, and it was highly successful. We met lots of interesting people from the other two towns. And the bottom line is, prior to Solarize, we called it PAB, Plainfield, Ashfield, Buckland. There were in Plainfield 6 homes with solar, and by the time it was done, there were 38. So we added 32 homes in the course of about a year.
And prior to your Solarize campaign in 2015, were you specifically involved in any clean energy, sustainability, or climate action initiatives?
Well, I was on the energy committee, and I think I went on the energy committee in 2011. And through a course of resignations and stuff, I became the chair of the energy committee. And then we took 5 years and 3 town meeting votes to become a green community. So that happened. I think we became a green community in 2016. It was about the same time that we were doing the Solarize program. And but other than picking up trash on Earth Day and stuff like that, I can't say that I have, no.
Can you tell me a little about your Solarize campaign? For example, specifically which technology you chose and how you chose to promote it?
Yeah, well, I'm sort of on the far side of the digital divide. So what I did initially was just gather names and phone numbers and addresses of people who'd be interested in participating in Solarize. And we did that partly to attract installers. And we had well over 100 names or what the installers called leads. It was wonderful with these other two towns interviewing the installers and finally picking them one.
And can you tell me how long you ran the campaign for?
I think about a year, until we had all, I think it was about a year.
Did you decide to extend the campaign at all, or was it always planned to take a year?
No, I think it would, it lasted till everybody that had signed contracts had signed up.
When you were establishing your campaign, were there any specific goals that your group chose to try and meet to measure success?
Yeah, have as many people sign up as possible and have more than any other partnership in the state. And I think we met that, except for Wellfleet. I think we had more as a percentage of our population sign up than anywhere else. So the other thing that helped a great deal was our installer. They provided lawn signs, which we were ready to pay $5 a piece, but they provide all these lawn signs, and I got those lawn signs up all over town. When they first came to town, they were just awed by the number of lawn signs, and I made a point of getting them on the major roads, and so it gave a sense of enthusiasm and joint stuff, and that was, I think, important just to see that physical presence out there.
So, what were two marketing strategies that your team used that you believe were the most effective for reaching your community?
Well, gathering all the signatures and, or not signatures, but the addresses, having the meetings, and once we had the signatures and emails, sending out the invitations to invite people to the meetings, and then having the PowerPoint. I would say that. I think having the lawn signs did a lot of good. I wish we'd had bumper stickers too. Those are the main things, and I think the cooperation with the towns and the group discount, I think, and the tiered level discount, I think that helped. And Direct Energy also had a incentive, I think, for the first 20 or 30 people that signed up, they gave a $500 discount, and so that helped. And anyway. But I think the group meetings and the PowerPoint presentations and sending out the emails to everybody that we had signed up to invite them to those meetings. I think the most important thing was the group enthusiasm. Just, so many people were getting solar, and it wasn't really a peer pressure, but it was just seeing other people do it lent to the other people wanting to do it.
Could you provide just two tips on how to conduct outreach?
Well, like I said before, get some clipboards and sign-up sheets with people's name, phone number, address, and email. That's at least in terms of getting people involved initially. In terms of outreach, if you want to partner, go to energy committees.
So now can you tell me a little bit about any challenges that you experienced running your campaign as a partnership between multiple municipalities?
No, I don't think there were challenges. I think there were mainly gratifications, and we really got to know each other. People from Ashfield and Buckland and Plainfield, and it was really rather than being a challenge, it was a help to have these other towns involved and to be partnering with them and getting to know people.
So as you ran your campaign as a partnership, can you tell us about some of the benefits of having a partnership with two other municipalities?
Yes, it brought expertise and knowledge. This Brian, who I was talking about, the apple orchard fellow, he also is an electrical engineer. So it brought a lot of expertise. He also lent his home for when we had meetings with the installers, when we were vetting the installers. So we had two electrical engineers. We had one from Plainfield, retired, and then Brian from Ashfield. And it was not only people's backgrounds, but also people's enthusiasm. People were very concerned about global heating.
And now, what suggestions or tips do you have for communities looking to run a Solarize campaign on their own? And that means that they don't have the direct support or funding from Mass CEC that you received.
I'd say to partner and try to find people that have expertise. But I would say it's just important to reach out, and I guess they could ask people who are solar coaches for help. And it was so helpful to be able to look at the map that CEC put out to see all the, well, I guess, yeah, the other towns that had solarized and formed partnerships, and also the green community towns. Those things are helpful to look at because it encourages you to want to go forward and do it.
Well, thank you so much for participating today. I think you provided our communities with a lot of good information and background on how you ran your campaign. So thank you so much, Tim.